my wife said, "I'm not your property." So I proved she wasn't my responsibility. It started over a simple question about a bill that needed paying. My wife looked at me frustrated and said, "I'm not your property." Her words hung in the air like a storm cloud. The way she said it felt like she was challenging the very foundation of our relationship. I didn't argue, I just nodded. But inside, something shifted. If she didn't want to be my property, fine. But that also meant she couldn't expect me to shoulder the burden of being responsible for her. The next morning, she acted like nothing happened, but I was different. When she asked if I'd pay a bill that week, I told her calmly she could handle it herself. She gave me a confused look, but didn't say much. It was small, but to me, it was symbolic. I wasn't going to be her caretaker anymore, while she dismissed my role as oppressive. Throughout the day, I noticed other opportunities. When the kitchen faucet started leaking, I didn't grab my toolbox. When her car needed gas, I didn't take it to the station like usual. Each time, she seemed puzzled, maybe annoyed, but didn't push back yet. Week 2, the cracks were showing. She came home early while I was still at work, helping herself to groceries and doing her laundry like nothing had changed. She left a note saying she'd borrowed some stuff. I set her belongings by the door, making it clear boundaries were changing. When she discovered this, she was furious. "What's your problem? Why are you acting like this? You said you're not my property." I'm respecting that by not treating you like my responsibility either. The consequences escalated quickly. When she called about insurance payments, expecting me to handle them as usual, I reminded her the account details were in the folder and she could manage it herself. That evening, I deliberately left things undone. Overflowing trash, dirty dishes. She walked in and her frustration was written all over her face. When she asked why I was just sitting there, I shrugged and said it had been a long day. By midweek, the consequences hit directly. She came home to find the power was out because I hadn't paid the utility bill. "The power's out. Why didn't you pay the bill?" "You knew it was due. Account details are in the folder." "Why are you doing this? You're being completely childish. You said you're not my property." I'm respecting that. "But if you're not my property, then I'm not your caretaker." That night, she was on the phone with customer service, navigating automated systems, something I would have handled with ease before. By week's end, the house felt like a war zone. Empty fridge, unpaid bills, mounting tension everywhere. Saturday morning, she confronted me while staring at bare cupboards. "This can't keep going. We're supposed to be a team, are we? You made it clear you don't want to feel like you owe me anything. That goes both ways." Her frustration exploded. "This isn't about owing anyone anything. It's about respect." "Respect?" I stood up, my voice rising for the first time. "Do you think respect is me silently fixing every problem, paying every bill, cleaning up every mess without so much as a thank you? You dismissed all of that effort as making you feel like property." She flinched. "I didn't ask for this." "No, but you expected it. Every time I stepped in, you let me. When I tried to talk about carrying all of that, you dismissed it as control. So what now? Do we just keep tearing each other apart? I don't know, but I'm done being the only one carrying the weight." She walked out without another word. The consequences spread beyond our house. My mother called after my wife complained I was refusing to help with anything. Even her sister reached out, concerned about the sudden change in our dynamic. At work, I overheard her apologizing to her boss for missing deadlines. One evening, I found her on the couch with her laptop, face buried in her hands. The Wi-Fi was down because the account was overdue. "I can't do this anymore," she whispered. "I feel like I'm drowning, and you're just standing there watching." Looking at her exhausted and defeated, I realized the consequences weren't just affecting her. They were affecting both of us. "I didn't want it to get to this point," I said. "Neither did I." The next morning, I found her at the kitchen table with bills spread out. "Can we go through these together?" she asked quietly. We started sorting through the mess we'd both ignored. She began taking more initiative while I stepped back into some responsibilities, not from obligation, but because I wanted to help. We finally learned what we should have known all along. Marriage isn't about property or responsibility, it's about partnership.